Hey guys, good evening. Okay, so yeah, let's get started without any further ado. Before we do so, a quick formal introduction on my end. My name is Mohammed Shoaib. I'm a cybersecurity trainer certified from EC Council, one of the leading organizations for trainings and certifications in the domain of cybersecurity. So I've had experience of working as a penetration tester and a SOC analyst as well. And I've been training students in cybersecurity since the last 5 years or so. Okay. And the demo that we're going to take today is on a course called Certified Ethical Hacking version 12. Now, this is a course that is fundamentally taken up by students who want to enter the domain of cybersecurity, who want to shift their domain or get started in their career with cybersecurity. So this is one of the most fundamental or basic courses to get started with. Okay. Now, to understand what this course is about, we need to know the definitions of what ethical hacking is and what hacking is as well, because a lot of students have a misconception that hacking and ethical hacking are one and the same term. Okay, but let's clarify that with the definitions first. But before we do so, does anyone have any questions also prior to we beginning the session? Does anyone?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
actually,
Shivana.
when you are continuing this course, actually, do you need any programming knowledge?
Good question, Shivana. So again, for this specific course in certified ethical hacking, we have no requirement for any programming language at all. But again, I would not say the same about cybersecurity. As you progress to higher job roles, or maybe if you go towards malware development or malware analysis, in those kind of job roles in cybersecurity, you would have programming. But in penetration testing, again in SOC analysis or monitoring or analyzing traffic, in such domains of cybersecurity, you won't have any requirement of any programming. Right? Coming back to this course specifically, as well, there is no requirement for any programming language. Okay, exactly. Right.
And
So,
when
sir,
it is this course?
yeah. Come again, Shivan. Your voice got cut.
Okay, how many days course this one?
It's for 35 days. You have classes from Monday to Friday every day for 1 hour each. And the course duration is for 35 days. For each class will be recorded. You'll be getting the recording sessions, you'll be getting the materials, the notes, and all everything from the institute. Okay.
Okay, and this is for just only cyber security basics, or it will go beyond that one also.
Again, related to cybersecurity itself, covering from the very basics up to intermediate level. After this course is done, there are definitely other higher level courses as well. Just like in any other domain, even if you take networking, for example, there are levels of courses. So if you take Cisco certifications, there's CCNA, CCNP, CCI, Cisco Certified Network Administrator, Network Professional, again, expert. Okay, similarly in cybersecurity as well, there are levels. So this course is going to teach from the very fundamentals up to intermediate level. After that, if you're interested, there are advanced courses as well, okay, for various domains in cybersecurity. But this is the fundamental course that you have to take up in order to understand basics of cybersecurity up to, again, intermediate level.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Okay. Shivanand, any questions on your end?
No.
Right, perfect. So yeah, again, let's get started, guys, without any further ado. So as mentioned, we'll be starting this demo with the definitions of what hacking is and what ethical hacking is. Okay. So basically, when you talk about hacking, you must have heard this term in a lot of places, a lot of movies, a lot of news articles, where not. But one common thing that you hear about hacking is where hackers try to get access to information systems. Now, those information systems could be anything. They could be as small as a mobile phone to as big as a web application server or a database. So hacking is the procedure of trying to gain access to these information systems without the consent or without the permission and knowledge of the person or the organization owning those systems. So if I've hacked your phone, it basically means I've got complete remote control of your phone. And this is done without your permission and without your knowledge. And once I've gotten access to your phone, I can steal information from your phone, whatever images, videos, documents, your contacts, whatever information it be. I can access that entire information remotely. If I want, I can delete that information from your phone, or I can sell your information to other people on the internet. And sometimes I can do it just for fun as well. Okay, so that is what hacking is. Again, we have taken the example of a mobile phone when the same thing is applied to organizations, to their servers or databases. That's a cyber threat attack on a much larger scale. Okay. So hacking is the procedure of trying to gain access to information systems, whatever they be, without the permission and knowledge of the organization owning those systems. And this is usually performed by hackers for their own benefit, or sometimes even just for fun. Now, if hacking is such a malicious or a criminal activity, why do we have a course called ethical hacking? And how is this getting ethical or legal in the first place? So, to define ethical hacking, on the other hand, it is the procedure of trying to find vulnerabilities. This term called vulnerability is something that you'll keep on hearing throughout the course, guys. To define it, it's a loophole, it's a flaw or a weakness in the security of the information systems. And hackers take advantage of these same weaknesses to attack systems and get remote connections. So your job in ethical hacking is to find these vulnerabilities or loopholes in the information systems with the consent, with the permission, and with the knowledge of the organization owning those systems. So you work hand in hand with the organization to find flaws in their security. And once you do find them, you report it back to the organization or you report it back to the authority so that they can be patched up. And once these security updates or these patches are applied, you're preventing any other hacker from causing any further harm or any such cyber threat. So you're trying to protect the organization from these so-called hackers by finding the vulnerabilities first and remediating them or patching them up. That's what ethical hacking is, preventing hacking occurring on an organization by finding the loopholes and repairing those loopholes. Okay. Exactly. Again, an important point to note, guys, if you have any questions or any doubts, do not hesitate to interrupt at any certain point. You can ask your questions. I do not mind interruptions at all. Okay. So, but do not hesitate to ask your questions. If you don't understand something, if I'm going too fast, or if there's any issues with my audio, please let me know at the earliest. Okay. So any questions or doubts up to this point? Anyone? What is hacking or what is ethical hacking? Okay, assuming no questions, let's proceed further. Depending on these two definitions, now we can categorize the types of hackers as well. And there are three broad categories. There's someone known as a white hat hacker, there's someone known as a gray hat hacker, and then there's someone known as a black hat hacker. Oh, Sumanta Kumar Sahu, what are the prerequisites for this course? I'm going to come to that, Sumanta. Definitely. Sahu, I'll explain what the prerequisites are. And actually, frankly speaking, those are included in the course itself. I'll come to that. I'll answer that by the end of this session. Okay. So as mentioned, when you talk about types of hackers, there are three main categories, something called as white hat hackers, gray hat hackers, and black hat hackers. When you talk about black hat hackers first, these are people who perform hacking for their own benefit or just for fun without asking for consent. And they can also be commonly known as cyber criminals. On the other end of the spectrum, on the other hand, you have someone known as a white hat hacker. White hat hackers are people who abide by the laws and policies of the organization, and they work hand in hand with the organization for securing the infrastructure. They try to prevent cyber threats from occurring, and they're also commonly known as ethical hackers or penetration testers. And in between, there's a third mysterious category called gray hat hackers. Now, these are people who have both the qualities of black hat hackers as well as white hat hackers. So like a black hat hacker, they don't ask for permission first, but once they do find a vulnerability, they report it back to the organization. But there's a minor condition here, a minor catch here. They don't do it for free. They do it in return for a bounty. A bounty is like a financial reward they expect in return to report that vulnerability. Okay. So again, they report that vulnerability for a certain amount of a price of money. Okay. So therefore, they're working both offensively and defensively at various stages, and hence they're called as gray hat hackers. They can also be commonly known as bug bounty hunters. They hunt for bugs in organizations and in the websites of organizations for a bounty in return. Hence the name bug bounty hunters. Okay. Now, no matter what category of a hacker you take, whether it be a black hat hacker, a gray hat hacker, or a white hat hacker, all these hackers perform this hacking or ethical hacking in a certain procedure. And that procedure is commonly known as cyber kill chain. Some organizations also refer to it as hacking cycle. So this term cyber kill chain or hacking cycle is one and the same. Okay. To define it, it is the procedure that hackers follow in order to perform a successful cyber attack. And the same knowledge of this procedure also allows cybersecurity professionals, also allows ethical hackers to understand these attacks, to detect them at every level, and to prevent them as well. So the procedure that is followed by hackers to attack or or cyber security professionals to prevent these attacks is called as cyber kill chain. Okay, and this procedure contains 5 important steps. First step is called as information gathering. Second step is called as scanning. Third step is called as gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. And the last step is reporting or clearing traces. So these are the 5 steps that are involved in actual real-time cyber kill chain. And our whole course is going to revolve around these same 5 steps itself. We'll be covering each of these steps to practically understand how do hackers perform cyber threats, or as ethical hackers, how do you prevent those cyber threats as well? Okay. Now, if you carefully observe, only in the last step, I have 2 different wordings or 2 different terminologies, reporting or clearing traces. The reason why I do so, or the reason why it is that way, is because no matter what category of a hacker you are, whether you be a black hat hacker or a gray hat hacker or a white hat hacker, first 4 steps are exactly identical. There is no change in the procedure in the first 4 steps. What varies or what changes is only the last step. If you are a white hat hacker or a gray hat hacker, you report the vulnerabilities back to the organization. You tell them what the loopholes are and you give them the solutions for that. That in simple terms is called as reporting. On the other hand, if you're a black hat hacker, a cyber criminal, you don't report anything, obviously. You try to stay anonymous, you try to hide your evidences, of the attack, and you try to clear all the footprints generated so that you cannot be traced out, so that you cannot be found who performed the attack. Okay. And that in simple terms is called as clearing traces. Okay. So similar, again, let me go through all of these steps one by one briefly to explain what the course is about, guys. But again, up to this point, any questions or doubts? Anyone? Regarding the definitions of hacking or ethical hacking, the categories of hackers or hacking cycle and the steps involved in it. Any questions, any doubts up to this point? Please do not hesitate to let me know. I will answer your questions at the end of this course. Of this class, what prerequisites are required. Other than that, any other questions, anyone? Okay, assuming no questions, moving forward, let's talk about each of these steps now one by one. So the first step in hacking cycle is called as information gathering. Cyber kill chain, again, whether you call it as cyber kill chain or hacking cycle, it's one and the same thing as mentioned earlier. And the first step in that cyber kill chain is information gathering. Now, some organizations also refer to this step as reconnaissance or footprinting. So it's one and the same thing. And the main objective of this step is to gather as much data or as much information as possible about your target organization. And an important point to note here is all of this information is obtained passively. What I mean by passively is you do not contact the organization in any way to obtain this information. And this information is obtained from third-party sources, especially from the internet. Now, the main question that arises here is what kind of information are we looking for before we launch the attack? And this is the information as follows. Now, some parts of this information might seem a bit gibberish to you guys right now. It might not seem easy to understand. But as we progress with our classes, you'll understand what these pieces of information are and why they are relevant or why they are important to be obtained. Okay. So again, as a hacker or an ethical hacker, you need to know the IP address information or the group of IPs called network blocks. You need the who's records, getting information on who's hosting the website for them. Then DNS records. Every organization has a DNS server. So information in that is called DNS records. We need that as well. Then the domains of the organization, subdomains of the organization, operating system information. What OS are they using? Are they using Linux servers, Windows servers, etc.? Then employee details, okay, such as contact numbers of the employees, okay, or email addresses of the employees, or usernames and passwords that have been leaked online in data breaches. So believe it or not, all of this information is actually readily available on the internet. All you need to know is what those websites are from where you can actually get this information. Okay. If I show you a simple example for this, a practical live example for this, let's say I wanted to get the DNS records for any company. All I have to do now is go to my browser. One second, let me open up my browser. And in my browser, I can search for a website called DNS Dumpster, a very popular website in cybersecurity circles. Provides you DNS records for any organization. Okay. So every organization has a DNS server, and the main job of this server in simple terminology is to link domain names and IP addresses. So every server on the internet has a public IP, and that IP is linked with a domain name. So that linking is done by a DNS server. Okay. So if I search for an organization here, let's say Netflix itself, netflix.com. Now, if I want to get DNS server information for Netflix, I can enter that domain name here, click on search, and you can see. First things first, it provides me the geolocation of servers of Netflix. Netflix right now has 4 DNS servers, and these are the host names of those servers. And more important information are these IP addresses. So these IPs are very crucial for a hacker or an ethical hacker to perform attacks. So once you know the IP, you know where to attack or which device to attack on. So these are the IP addresses of the 4 DNS servers of Netflix. And in these 4 DNS servers, the rest of the information is stored here. Okay. So whatever records you see over here, all this data is stored in these 4 DNS servers. Okay. And the first information you have is MX record, mail server records. So right now, Netflix has 5 mail servers, all of them belonging to Google itself. And these are the exact IPs of those servers. So all the mails, customer emails, or support emails, or whatever it be, employee emails as well, all of them are routing through these 5 servers itself. These are the mail servers for Netflix. Okay. Scroll down much further. These are the domains and the subdomains of Netflix. And each of these websites is hosted on this server here with this IP. So these IPs are very crucial for hackers because they now exactly know what IPs to attack on belonging to the Netflix organization. Okay. And believe it or not, this provides all the IPs belonging to the organization of Netflix here. Okay. So these are all the servers belonging to Netflix. Okay. And this is a graphical, diagrammatic representation of the same. So each box here represents a server belonging to Netflix. So you can call this as the network topology map for Netflix organization. Okay. So this is the entire Netflix server list. Okay. And when you want to perform pen testing for Netflix, security check for Netflix, you have to test the security of each of these servers, each of these boxes mentioned here. Okay. So this is one website providing all that information, guys. There's tons and tons of other websites which can give you all the other pieces of information as well. And the more information you find, the more easier it gets for you in the upcoming phases to attack the target, because you find more attack vectors, more possibilities to attack. Okay. So once all of this information is obtained here, this is now utilized in the next phase called scanning. Okay. Some organizations also refer to scanning as enumeration. Okay. And the main objective of scanning here is to get some extra information on the target, but by active connections. So earlier we got the information passively. Passively in the sense we did not contact Netflix here. We got all of this information from a third-party website, DNS dumpster. In scanning, that's not the case. Whatever IPs you have obtained, whatever email addresses you have obtained, whatever server domain names you have obtained, you directly attack on those pieces of information. And when you attack on those pieces of information, you get more data. And that data can be divided in 3 parts again. There's something called as network scanning, port scanning, and vulnerability scanning. In network scanning, we can figure out in the local organization how many internal devices do they have, how many firewalls do they have, how many routers do they have, how many client operating system devices do they have, how many, again, IDS, IPS systems do they have, intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems. So getting a network topology of their internal network. Once you know what devices exist in their network, then we perform port scanning, figuring out what ports are open on those devices and what services are running on, what applications are they using in their organization. Once you know what applications or services are being used, then you perform vulnerability scanning, figuring out of those services or applications, which of them can be attacked on, which of them contain loopholes to attack on. And during this phase, we'll be using 2 very important tools. One of them is called Nmap. It stands for Network Mapper. This is a network and a port scanner. Been there since 1997, actually, but still one of the best tools available for performing network and port scanning, and completely open source as well, free to use by anyone. And for vulnerability scanning, we use another tool called Tenable Nessus. Now, this is not a free tool, guys. It's quite expensive, actually. And this is the same tool used in organizations as well. So if you click on buy, you can see it's around $7,000 for 1 year subscription. That in Indian currency is like 7068 USD to INR. That's like 4.5 lakhs or something. Oh, sorry, my bad. 6 lakhs, close to 6 lakhs. And that too only for 1 year subscription again. Okay. Every year you need to renew that subscription. Okay. So this tool is capable of generating automated reports telling you what system contains what loopholes or what vulnerabilities in your organization. So that's called as a vulnerability scanning report. And on that report, you perform penetration testing. You verify every vulnerability and check which is actually truly existing or which are false positives. Okay. So don't worry, we don't need to purchase any tool. There's trial versions as well. So we'll be working on how to run these tools in organizations in our course. The reason I'm showing you all this is just to give you an idea on what we'll be working on in the upcoming days. Okay. So this course is designed in such a way where we learn all tools practically. Okay. The real-time tools that are used in organizations itself. Okay. And once all this is done, once scanning is done, then we go into the next phase, which is gaining access. So this is the phase where the real hacking occurs. Okay. So once you have obtained all the vulnerabilities in the earlier phases of reconnaissance and scanning, now the next part is getting access to the entire system or the application or the network. Okay. So your target organization getting attacked is gaining access phase. Okay. And this phase covers a vast variety of topics, as you can see. These are some of the most important topics we'll be covering in this module. Okay. So I would say this is one of the most important modules in the course where we learn how to attack every single endpoint in an organization. Before we get into this, any questions or doubts up to this point? Shivanand, Bashir,
Yeah,
Patnaik.
what is passive and active connections? Last slide. Yeah.
What is passive? Come again? Sai?
Yeah, you told me about the active and the passive, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Passive is information gathering. Passive in the sense you are not contacting the organization in any way, and you're getting information about that organization from third-party services or third-party websites. So if I want information about Netflix, I'm getting some information from other third-party websites like DNS Dumpster. This is
yeah,
passive information gathering. Active reconnaissance or active information gathering is scanning. Scanning is where we use these tools like Nmap and Nessus to directly attack the IPs or the servers belonging to the organization. We get information directly from the target servers. So you're making direct connections, active connections to the server. Okay, that is called as active reconnaissance or scanning. Okay, is
yeah,
that clear? If this is still a bit unclear for anyone, let me give you a very simple example. Let's say if I were a bank robber, okay, so I want to plan a bank robbery. Okay, so what I do first thing is I observe the bank externally. Okay, I get information about the bank externally. How many security cameras are placed outside the bank? How many security guards are there outside the bank? When are the security guards changing their shift? When does and at what day of the week does the money van come in? When are they again taking the money out of the bank or taking it inside the bank? So all of this information can be obtained passively, me just by observing the bank externally. Okay, but to rob a bank, only this information is not sufficient. I need to know the internal infrastructure as well. So to get to know the internal infrastructure, I need to enter the bank once. So I will get captured in their security cameras, but that's a necessary step. That is active information gathering. Observing bank externally is information gathering passively. Okay. Entering the bank once inside and checking what information I can obtain internally is active. Okay. So now once I enter the bank internally, I get some extra data again. Where are the security cameras installed inside the bank? Are there any extra security measures inside the bank? Do they have metal detectors? Are the security guards holding any guns? What kind of guns they are? Okay. So getting all that information internally is your scanning phase, active reconnaissance. Okay. And once I've gotten the information both actively and passively, next step is nothing but robbing the bank. And that is your gaining access module. The phase where the robbery occurs, the phase where the real hacking occurs, attacking the target system. Okay. Is that clear? Everyone, what is information gathering? What is scanning? What do I mean by actively getting information or passively getting information? Any questions, any doubts up to this point? Shivanand, Bashir, Patnaik, Sai, Jagat Krishna, Prasanna, Lakshmi Naidu, Mahinder, Manju Patil, Shiva Sai Cherpuri, Sumanta Kumar Sahu.
When you are going to the different organizations, okay, they have different the security applications to secure their websites and their technology, everything. So how do you know that once actually if you are going to the one of the companies, so what cyber security applications they are using, and are we know about that once? So do you use any common tools to check this cyber security?
That's the point, right? Of active reconnaissance. Oh, 1 second, I forgot who's asking the question. Shivanand, right? Shivanand.
Yes.
Right, Shivanand. So that's the main important point of trying to understand what active reconnaissance is. So active in the sense internally getting to know their infrastructure, what applications they're using, what security devices they're using. So that's the tools that we use for that. Nmap and Nessus. The Nmap is your network scanner, which is capable of giving you information such as what all devices are available in their network. Okay, that's network scanning. Figuring out what firewalls they have, what IDS, IPS systems do they have, do they have any honeypots? Okay, do they have any other servers? What kinds of servers do they have? FTP servers, DHCP servers, DNS servers, mail servers. So getting information about what devices exist in their organization is network scanning. Once you know what devices exist, on those devices you perform port scanning and vulnerability scanning. From port scanning, we can now understand what applications they are running, what tools they are running, and what versions of those applications they are running. And once we get to know that, then we perform vulnerability scan. If those applications have a loophole, so even with all their security measures already implemented, do they have any misconfiguration left out? Do they have any outdated software left out? Do they have any again unnecessary port open, unnecessary service running, which could contain a loophole? So that is vulnerability scanning. So in the active reconnaissance phase, we get all that information. What devices are available, what services are running, and can we attack on any of those services or applications? Okay, is that clear?
But for example, if I go to the Microsoft, so in that if I get a job there, so and so I want to know that once are they using separate application tools for the security purpose? I mean, do you have any applications to measure this cyber security? These ones.
That's the point, right, Shivan? That's what I've been explaining to you. To understand what those tools are available, you use these other tools called scanners. So, firstly, for example, there are methods where you can directly ask them for a report on what is their setup, what is their infrastructure of security. So they would themselves tell you what applications they're using, what security measures are they using. On those, if they're providing you that information, well and good. If they don't provide you, you scan it for it yourself, okay, using these other tools called Tenable, Nessus, and all. So this scans the entire network and tells you what applications they're using, what again, even if it's again a firewall, what firewall are they using on that firewall, what version of applications are running, okay, what ports are open on that firewall. Every single thing can be figured out by this one single tool. That's why it is this expensive as well. $7,000 is not a small amount. So again, this is a vulnerability scanner, which tells you in an organization the entire architecture of it, primarily speaking. Okay, so all you need to do is just provide the IP addresses of those systems. Once you give the IP to this application, it tells you what operating system is running on that, what services are running on it, what type of a device it is, okay, and what ports are open and do they contain any loopholes. Okay, so if they are not providing you that information directly in the format of a report, you scan it yourself and figure it out. Okay. So no matter what organization it be, or no matter what scale of the organization be, even if it is a small startup or as big as a company like Microsoft. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Moving forward, again, once we perform this practically, this will definitely make a lot more sense. But basically, to get the architecture, to get the infrastructure's information, you can either directly ask them for a report or you scan it yourself and figure out what devices they have. And on those devices, what applications are running. So we have scanning for that. So in that phase itself, we figure that out. Shivanand. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, coming to the gaining access module, guys, as mentioned, one of the very most important modules in the entire course where we learn how to attack every single endpoint. So as a penetration tester, as a cybersecurity professional, it is your responsibility to check the security of every single device in that organization. Okay. Whether it be system security. So the first topic is system hacking. Let's assume there's a hacker who has logged you out of your own system. let's say you're using a Windows 10, Windows 11 operating system, or any Windows OS, Windows servers as well, Windows 2012, Windows 2016, whatnot. Let's say if you're logged out of your own computer, how do you crack the password for it? Okay. And if you're unable to crack it, if it is too tough to crack, how do you bypass the password and still get access to your internal data? That is what we learn in system hacking. Then we learn about malware attacks. 90% of your cyber threats occur on malwares, malicious softwares, and there's tons and tons of categories of malwares: viruses, worms, trojans, spyware, rootkit, adware, whatnot. So practically there's I would say thousands and thousands of malwares. Some are very important ones. So we'll practically learn how to defend our systems from these malwares, how to detect them if they're already installed without our knowledge, and also how to create them ourselves, okay, to understand how these malwares work. Okay, attacking with malwares and defending against malwares as well. We'll be learning both the techniques in this course. Okay. Then comes network penetration testing, where we learn some commonly known network attacks. Attacks like sniffing attack, man in the middle attack, denial of service attack, hacking Wi-Fi routers. Now, I'm pretty sure this might seem a bit gibberish to you, might not make sense, but using these attacks, what hackers can do is they can capture your data without your knowledge. So basically, let's say if you're logged in a public Wi-Fi, a cafe or an airport or whatever it is, you never know who else is connected to that network. So hackers can actually capture your data if they are in the same network as you. So those are called as sniffing attacks or man-in-the-middle attacks. Denial of service attack is where hackers can shut down remote servers by overloading them with traffic. Okay, so they send huge amounts of traffic to a server, artificial traffic, and make the server get overloaded. And when it is overloaded, it crashes. So that is called as a DOS attack. So we'll practically learn how these attacks are performed in real time and how do you defend these real-time attacks in an organization. Okay. Then comes hacking wireless networks, where we learn how to attack Wi-Fi router passwords, crack the password for Wi-Fi routers. Okay. Then comes social engineering. Oh, 1 second. I think someone asked a question in the chat. Will we be learning how to perform all of these? Yeah, that's the main point of it, Patil. Understanding how to perform all of these practically and understanding how to defend our systems as well from these practical attacks. Okay. So all the topics I'm going to teach you are, again, there's no theory nonsense. Okay. This is not a theoretical course. I'm going to show you how to create your own lab setup and how do you perform all of these attacks practically in real time. Okay. So again, please note, this is I would say a 20-40 ratio class. Okay. So in 1 hour session every day, first 15 to 20 minutes, I'll explain what the concept is, logically make you understand how this attack works. And the remaining 35 to 40 minutes, we discuss the practical aspect of it. We perform it practically and I show you the output. Okay. So no theory nonsense. It is a more practical oriented, hands-on oriented course. Okay. Moving forward, then you have social engineering, where we learn how to hackers create fake websites. I'm not sure if anyone has watched this series on Jamtara. I mean, sorry, a series on Netflix called Jamtara. So again, that shows social engineering very well. So basically, to give you an idea, this is where hackers try to show themselves as genuine authorities and try to steal your credentials. So they can make a call to you and act as if they're calling from a bank, and they might request your credentials. Alternatively, they can create fake websites, send those links to you, and make you click on it and execute your credentials there. Okay, so we learn how to hackers create fake websites and perform these phishing attacks. And also to defend yourself, how do you distinguish between a genuine page and a fake page? We learn that as well. Then comes hacking web servers or web applications. Every organization, again, the face of every organization is their website. So we practically learn what vulnerabilities exist on websites: SQL injection, cross-site scripting, broken authentication, file upload vulnerability. These are vulnerabilities in websites. Hackers, again, through these vulnerabilities, can get access to your databases, can inject malicious scripts and get others access without their password, or upload malicious files to a server, get complete remote connection to servers without the administrator privilege. So again, these attacks allow hackers to get complete remote control of user data through these websites. Okay, so we learn practically how these are performed and how to defend as well. Then comes evading techniques. So every organization already has some security measures: firewalls, intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems. If they're working perfectly fine, that's good. That's what we need as well. But if these devices contain any misconfigurations or loopholes, hackers can bypass them or evade them. So we'll practically learn how to check for those misconfigurations. And if they do exist, how do hackers bypass these security measures? Okay. Then comes vulnerability assessment. Okay, a topic where once you know that a certain system contains a loophole, how do you attack on that loophole? How do you attack on those vulnerabilities? and get remote connection to that. So we get a report from a tool like Nessus telling what vulnerabilities exist. So to attack on them, we perform vulnerability assessment. So during this phase, we use a very important tool called Metasploit framework. Not sure if anyone has ever heard about it. A very popular tool available for free. Okay. And this allows you to perform penetration testing, basically checking the vulnerabilities on each system by attacking on them manually. Okay. So you're assessing every vulnerability by attacking on it. That's called vulnerability assessment. And finally, we have hacking mobile phones where we learn how to attack an Android phone, get a remote connection to an Android phone. So if you carefully observe here, we are covering every single endpoint: system security, network security, wireless security, web server security, web application security, firewall security, database security, mobile phone security. As small as a mobile phone to as big as a web server or a database. Okay. Once we have learned how to attack each of these devices and defend these devices as well, then come the last two phases: small topics, maintaining access, and reporting or clearing traces. Maintaining access is where once I've got remote connection to your system, I need to maintain that connection. So let's say if I've hacked your phone, even if you restart your phone, I should still be connected to it. So that is called as maintaining access, maintaining the connectivity to the device even after system restarts. Finally, you have reporting or clearing traces where, as an ethical hacker, you generate reports for the organization, elaborate all the loopholes for them, and provide the solutions. Tell them what the loopholes are, how do you remove those loopholes. That's the responsibility or the last step of an ethical hacker. On the other hand, if you're not an ethical hacker, if you're a black hat hacker, you don't report anything, obviously. You remove all the footprints generated. You delete the log files, erase all the evidence of your actions, and stay hidden so that you are untraceable. So that is called as clearing traces. And in our entire course, we're going to learn the course in two tracks, I can say. Okay. So first, you learn how to perform these attacks as a black hat hacker. Then you learn how to defend yourself from these attacks as an ethical hacker. How do you protect your organization from these attacks? Now, coming to the question, are there any prerequisites for this course? Yes, there are a few, but luckily, all of these prerequisites are covered in the course itself. So there are two important prerequisites to learn: some networking fundamentals. Okay, what is networking? What are IP addresses? One second. So let me show the notes for that as well. So again, this is one of the prerequisites again, understanding what networking is, what are IPv4 addresses, okay, what are classes and IP addresses, what are public IPs, what are private IPs. So we'll talk about all this in the upcoming session, guys. Okay, what are classes of IP addresses? Okay, class A, class B, class C. So again, basic networking fundamentals. This is one prerequisite required. But luckily, as mentioned, all of this is included in the course itself. Okay. Second prerequisite is Linux commands. So during this entire course, we'll be working on an operating system called Kali Linux. It's an open source operating system available specifically for cybersecurity. This contains all the tools required for cybersecurity in one single OS. Okay. So we'll practically learn how to install this operating system, and we'll also learn the commands required for Linux. So that is also included in the course itself. Okay. So one second. Yeah, this one. So we'll practically learn what a Linux operating system is, how is it different from Windows or Mac OS, what the architecture of Linux operating systems are, and what the commands in Linux are. Every single thing practically explained. So whatever prerequisites are required, they are included in the course itself. Now, coming to the physical requirements of this course for your computer, for your device. Now, this course will definitely require you to install something called virtual machines, other operating systems. So the minimum requirement, I would say, is around 8 GB RAM. If you have 8 GB, well and good. That's for, again, recommended configuration. If not 8, at least 6 GB of RAM. Okay. And processor, i5 processor is recommended. If i5 is not there, i3 will work as well. It might be a bit slow. Okay. And storage, at least 50 gigabytes of free storage. If you have 100, much better. 50 to 100 gigabytes of storage. That is the requirement for your PC to run or to go through this course. Okay. So these are the physical requirements of your device that are recommended for this course. Okay. And as mentioned, all the tools required for the course will be shared by me. You don't have to make any payment other than for this course itself. And the course is priced at 8,000 rupees Indian currency. Frankly speaking, I teach for a lot of other institutes in India. Okay. And again, trust me, this is the lowest that this course can be provided at. I teach for some other institutes in Bangalore, actually. Will not be naming them because that would be a bit disrespectful, but they're providing the same course. I'm the same trainer for them as well. And they train this course at a price of 26,000 or 27,000. Okay. And you're getting it for 8,000 from DurgaSoft. Okay. So trust me, that's a good price, I would say. Definitely a great price for the course of 35 days, where we learn everything from the very basics to the intermediate level in cybersecurity. Everything covered from basics, everything provided to you with recordings, with documentations, everything at your hands. Okay. Yeah, that's that. Nothing further from my end, guys. If you have any questions also, you can go ahead.
What's the time for this course and dates?
Same time, Bashir. So it's being held right now at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And as mentioned, every single day for 1 hour each for 35 days, Monday to Friday. Okay. So if you're in the
This
Indian
time is not perfect. Is it? Can I do the course from just listening to the videos?
Yeah, again, if you want recordings, you'll be getting the recordings as well. If this time is not suitable for you, you can request for recordings as well, Bashir. You'll be getting the recordings directly from the institute.
Because of the practical, is it feasible?
Yeah, definitely. That's not a problem at all. You can perform the practicals whenever you want to from the recordings, follow them exactly step by step. And if you have any questions also, I do take up weekend sessions as well for students for doubts. So if you have any doubt clarification, we connect separately on the weekends for clarification of such questions. Okay. So yes, this course can be done completely through the recordings as well if you're unavailable at this time slot. But again, if you have any doubts also, we can connect for a live session over the weekends.
Okay.
Okay, sir. So, if I want to do the certification, so with your course, can I do only basic cybersecurity certification or?
Yes, again, this course is called Certified Ethical Hacking, and you will be able to write the same certification with that same name, Certified Ethical Hacking itself. Okay. So for any other certification, you would definitely have a requirement to go through that course. So I specialize in web application pen testing, another advanced course that I teach privately. But once this course is done, as mentioned, if you go to the official website of EC Council, we are following the same curriculum from this organization, actually, EC Council. And once this course is done, you can apply for this certification. Train and certify. Oh, yeah, degree. Where is this?
And this
Yeah,
EC Council is for worldwide or?
yeah, this is a US based organization which is worldwide recognized, Shivan. Okay.
Okay.
And again, as mentioned, we are going to go for the certified ethical hacker. So you can apply for this certification exam after the course is done.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, guys?
This completion of the course, right? So what
Will
kind of
we be learning how to
we-
perform all of these in this course? Yes, we will be learning all the attacks, Manju. Yes, the only time you're doing the morning session of the class. At the moment, there's no such morning session, Manju. We did try holding morning sessions last time. We didn't get good number of students then. So we thought we could shift the batch timing to 8 p.m. Although if you're interested for a morning slot, you can let the organization know. And if they do arrange anything, they'll mail you about that. Right now, the batch is running at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. You cover both defensive and yes, again, we'll be learning how to attack. We'll be learning the offensive tools and also how to defend your organization from these attacks, the defensive tools as well, Saho. So, any possibility to get a job in Hyderabad after completing this course, any company, those in your knowledge who are at Hyderabad. Again, I cannot tell that myself, Jagat, but I can provide you a website which can give you such opportunities. So, this is the website which I provide to students after the course is done as well. Jobs.null.co.in. I'm not sure if you have heard about this community called Null Community. This is built specifically by cybersecurity professionals all around the world. And in India also, you have a part of that community. And they have built this website, jobs.null.co.in. So this is a website specifically for cybersecurity jobs in India. Okay. So again, based from all different locations, could be remote jobs, could be on location jobs as well. But once this course is done, you can apply for these job roles in BAPT or in, again, fresher job roles or SOC and SIM. So if you click on freshers here, you can see these are all the job roles you can apply for. Okay. IoT pen tester, security consultant, SOC analyst level 1 or level 2. Okay. Junior security analyst. Okay. Malware
Are
analyst.
you sharing
Ethical hacker.
something? Sorry.
Sorry. Was someone asking a question?
Oh, okay. So now actually now it's showing the okay. Previously, it was showing only your desktop.
Oh, maybe some sort of a lag, Shivanand. But now I think
Okay.
it's visible. So this is a website, jobs.null.co.in. So once you open up this, you have these various domains in cybersecurity, and you can either apply in SOC or freshers or VAPT, vulnerability assessment and pen testing. Again, these job roles can be in different locations again. So can't guarantee you that you'll find them in Hyderabad itself. Okay. So could be in Pune, could be in Ahmedabad, Delhi, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Noida. As you can see, different locations again. I think who asked that? Jagat. I hope that clarifies your question. When is this course starting? This course is starting tomorrow itself. So the first class of the course will be tomorrow itself, guys, where we talk about networking fundamentals. Today was a demo session to explain what the course is about. We start the course from tomorrow. Okay. And we can apply for
Are
certificate.
you continuing? Are you using the same link, or it's going to be changed?
No, it's going to be the same link, guys. For this week, entire week, it's going to be the same demo link. From next week, they will change the link. So for registered students only, there'll be a new link from next week onwards. When is the course starting? Tomorrow, guys. But yeah, again, not all job requirements, Jagat. So if they do ask a certification, you might have to do it. Again, if you're looking for companies without certification, one thing to bypass that. So if the company is asking for certification, one way to bypass it is showing them practical experience in your resume. Okay. So I've had these cases where students, again, are skilled, but again, they have not built their resume in such a way and they're getting rejected because they're asking certifications. So one way is you can perform something called bug bounty. Okay, you find bugs online for websites or for organizations or web applications. You include those reports in your resume. That shows that you're practically skilled in this domain. So certification is also holds the same purpose, just to show them that you're certified and you know things practically. Okay. So if you cannot afford the certification, I would recommend you include your resume or make your resume in such a way that you include experience of practical things that you've performed or done in cybersecurity. Okay, so if you do not have a certification, you have to make do with the other things. And then there's a lot of organizations which don't have that mandatory rule that you need a certification. So you can apply in those at least. Okay. If not, the other alternative as I've mentioned. Okay. Manju.
You know, for this bug bounty,
So that's the
bug bounty.
Yeah, Bashir.
No, sir. For this bug bounty, is it testing some website, for
bug bounties. Basically, you finding vulnerabilities on Bashir. So that's an advanced course again separately for web application pen testing. Okay. But again, as I'll cover that in some other day. Bug bounty is basically as mentioned. So if you go to your browser, and in your browser, if you search for bug bounty here, you get lots of websites again, bug bounty programs or bug bounty websites. So one of them is commonly called as Bug Crowd, a very popular one here. Okay. And if you click on engagements here, you can see these are multiple websites again, organizations, Ultramobile, Ibota, Cash App. Okay, some popular ones as well. CyberGhost, iRobot, Tesla, etc., etc. And they are willing to pay you a certain amount of money depending on what vulnerabilities you find in their website. Okay, so they give you a list of websites over here, and you're supposed to test security vulnerabilities on these websites. And if you do find anything, they're willing to pay you a certain amount of money. So if you include these reports of bug bounty in your resume, that gives you a much better chance as well. Okay, for basically putting you apart from the rest of the competition. Pune Infosys rejected due to year gap. Bhubaneswar asking for certificate and Kolkata asking for certificate. Again, not sure if this is the case with all organizations again, Jagat. Okay. Some organizations do require certifications if they are again MNC companies, but if they are startups, they can be a bit lenient. They can definitely be a bit more carefree. Okay. So again, it's all about you trying and making attempts as mentioned. If these are not working, if they are still asking for a certification, there would be no choice. You would have to write a certification. Alternatively, as mentioned, if you cannot afford that, you include reports in your resume telling them that you have worked online at least for these bug bounty programs and you have again shown that expertise. No, Alhadi Bashir, you don't need permission. This is called grey hat hacking, as mentioned. Okay. So in grey hat, you don't need to ask for permission. They are already by default giving you permission to test them. So once you find vulnerabilities and report it back, they'll verify that. And if it is truly vulnerable, they'll pay you for that. Okay, so they already by default give you permission for testing. Okay, so this is your gray hat hacking, I would say.
And one more thing, in this course, are you covering this cloud security also?
No, again, that's a completely advanced different course again, Shivanand. So this course only includes penetration testing on parts which are included. Although I'll be sharing resources for cloud security. Okay. So for advanced courses of cloud security or of application security also, I do share resources because again, not all of that can be covered in one single course. Okay. That's a different domain of cyber security itself. Okay. This course, Certified Ethical Hacking, covers all pen testings up to intermediate level: network security, mobile security, web security, system security. Okay, so we'll be covering from basic up to intermediate level. So for advanced courses, they are separate advanced courses again. Okay, so for advanced levels of courses again. Okay, this doesn't cover cloud security.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? No, Manju, you can only do the certified ethical hacking certification, okay, not the penetration testing. So that would require some extra knowledge on web pen testing as well. So this with this course done, you can only apply for certified ethical hacker. Any other questions, guys? So yeah, that comes to an end, guys. Nothing further for our demo today. Although if you still have any questions also, here's my personal number. Or you can text me on WhatsApp. This number has WhatsApp on it. +919849984778. That's my personal number, guys. Just in case if you have any questions or so, you can drop a message on that number. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Thank you for joining the session today. I hope I could clarify all your questions. I hope you found this demo a bit interesting and I didn't bore you out. And if you're interested for the classes, guys, please do join the remaining demos as well. From Monday to Friday, this entire week, we have demos. And tomorrow we start the first topic, which is networking fundamentals. So please do join. All the classes for the demo week are free. Okay, you can join them and understand how the course is proceeding. And if you're interested, you can register after that. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Nothing further. Bye-bye. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time on the same link. Take care. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.